Well, goodness gracioso. Welcome, fellas, to Gabbin' and the Games. Good to see everybody. I appreciate you being here, spend some time with your old Papa Chaffee. Listen, today's a little bit of a weird show because I've been off for a week, on and off. I've been streaming here and there, but I've been off for a week. My brother was in town, had a lot of fun. We went to Universal Halloween Horror Nights. Great production value out the wazoo, but boy, I'll tell you what, that whole industry is in need of a creative version of Steve Jobs to come in and just shake it up. Because if I see one more fucking, ooh, it's clown, it's scary, and oh, a guy comes out from behind a wall panel and goes in, can't touch you and goes back in, it's like, oh my God. If you're like, under 18 is probably the time of your life, but other than that, wonderful production. Kind of boring. I expected more from Universal, frankly, truth be told. And also, some of you may know, and I'm going to give you guys as much information as I can on this, and I can't give you a lot, but I'm talking right now with a video game publisher. They reached out to me and said, hey, you want to come make a horror game with us? And I says to these fine folks, I says, maybe. And I says, let's give me some more detail. And they say, well, 4 to 8 hours, a little action, a little horror, kind of bring your own sensibilities to it. We can get you a team to hook up with, so you don't have to worry about any of that shit. Reputable group, got money in the bank, not fly-by-night operation. So I says, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. I talked to him this morning. I made a decision. And like my Papa Jeff, he used to say, my daddy always said, he says, the deal's not done till the check's in the bank. So just because we're talking don't mean shit. But anyway, we're talking this morning. And I say, I have some ideas. I don't want it to interfere with the stream because I love doing the stream and the videos so much. Let me take this week and a little bit of next week. I'm going to try to stream. I'm going to try to create some of these concepts and flesh them out. And I want to see if I can do both. I want to see. And all I can tell you is the reason today is going to be a weird stream, besides being off and being a little rusty, is because they really are different parts of, yes, it's Truth Teller says, is this a reputable studio, Jeff? Yes, indeed. They really are different parts of my brain or personality or whatever. And so I'm exhausted because today I've been doing this and that. And it may be like, remember when you were a kid, or even now when you go to your first day of a new job or first day of school, you come home and it's just, you just want to fucking fall on the floor. You're so tired. So Jaffe is not working for 10 Cent, Jerry. I promise you. Fuck you, Mr. K. Mr. K says, now Jaffe will have an excuse to only stream once a month, just as he's always wanted. Fuck you. I was streaming like a bunch this week. Anyway, so if today feels I'm a little lethargic, the show's a little shorter than usual, that's probably, what's going on. But I don't know here's what I will do. As I always do on the show, I will be super open about the process as much as I'm allowed to be. And it may just be that after a week or 2 weeks, I submit to these folks some documents and say, here's some games I want to make. And they say, yeah, we don't like them. At which point I'll do a whole new stream and I'll just pitch them to you guys and see what you think. Okay, let's get in games though. Let's talk about video games. I've been away for a while. I want to tell you, I was very surprised. I downloaded Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the open beta cross-play, a lot of systems last night. And here's why I downloaded it. I downloaded it because I wanted to be able to talk about it. Frankly, I heard a lot of people saying it wasn't very good. And I just felt like, it's one of the biggest games. I plan on getting it anyway because I'm excited for the campaign. And I found myself having a really good time playing this game. It's probably one of the most fun Call of Duty multiplayer games I've played since like the Xbox 360 days, right? It was really fucking fun to me. And I've talked to people on this stream, and I streamed it last night. If you want to watch it, it's up there. And some of our members of our community are way more hardcore Call of Duty fans. So they didn't really like it. They said, oh, the characters move too slow and time to kill is a little longer. All these things I like. Like, it's the first time in ages I've been able to play Call of Duty and actually not only have a chance of doing well, but not dying every 5 seconds. But I was getting more kills. I was able to concentrate enough in the battle that it wasn't just about, oh, he saw me first, I'm dead. And I know there's a whole generation of Call of Duty fans. Fuck you, Dustin Furman, you fuck. Dustin Furman, he of Sacred Symbols fame, says to me, he's in the chat right now, you little fuck. He says, Jaffy spent a lot more time in the Call of Duty beta shooting his teammates. You go to hell, sir. Let me tell you, here's what happened. What happened? Well, I'll get back to Dustin's condescending, annoying comment in just a second. But people have said, though, that it's a conscious choice on the part of the Call of Duty developers to bring a little bit of the intensity down. And I know there's a whole generation that's probably going, fuck this bullshit. Because I've seen a lot of people say, fuck this bullshit. But I loved it. I hope it does well. I pre-ordered it immediately. I was going to pre-order it anyway because I want to play the campaign a week early. But it was really fucking fun. And I'm very excited to play it. I got up this morning and I was really happy. And this is what Dustin's talking about. I got up this morning and I was really excited to play it. And I was like, oh shit, it's still live. So it was live for a couple hours. And what was cool about it, besides it just being still happening and being crowded, is I was even a little better today. However, what Dustin's talking about is, yeah, I thought I found a glitch or a bug where I'm shooting a guy and nothing's registering. And I'm like, oh, this is my fucking teammate. People are saying, I'm like, no, he's not. And people are like, well, yeah, but look at the mini map. And in the mini map, sure enough, he was my teammate, but there was a glitch where his name wasn't appearing. That is the biggest fault I found this week in playing Call of Duty. Is I did have, especially after Halo has kind of retrained me in a great way to know who the good guys and bad guys are. These guys look so similar on the battlefield at the speed this game plays. I really hope they come out with something at launch to really demarcate your enemies in a stronger way. Jalapeno Milk, thank you, buddy. Been a member for 4 months. He says, Call of Duty feels like hide and seek. My biggest problem is the guns feel interchangeable. They should be center stage of gameplay experience. Well, it does feel less hide and seek now because it's not instant kill. I mean, it's very fast. Time to kill is still very fast, but I'm able to respond a little bit more. So it's no longer about if I saw you first, you're dead, right? The idea, though, of more guns, or the guns being center stage, obviously that's got to be a very difficult challenge for these guys because, fuck you, Emmanuel. He says, I want an easy mode. I don't want an easy mode. I want an ability to actually have a moment to breathe and strategize. The guns, though, that Jalapeno is talking about, so much changed when Modern Warfare 1 came out and it added this RPG layer. Back in the day, Call of Duty 1, 2, and I think 3 maybe, I don't know when Warfare started, maybe it was 4, you had a limited suite of guns and they could tune them and balance them and make them all very specific. And the minute they got into what they're doing now, which is like, well, you get power the more you play, so it's not pay for power, but it's time for power. They had to come up with all these little tweaks and doodad knobs and, you know, stocks and grips and all this shit to equip your gun and level up. So you have that little carrot on a stick and dopamine drip at the end of every match, so you'll keep playing. And it works, but it comes at the expense of the quality gameplay. So Mr. Orange drops first super chat of the day. Thank you, buddy. I'm going to take that money and go buy dope. I got to tell you guys something, but first, let's get Mr. Orange chat. He says, I've always played Team Hardcore, Team SWAT. I just prefer a more realistic experience. I love the MW2, Modern Warfare 2 beta. Okay, but Mr. Orange, first off, thanks, buddy. Second off, are you suggesting that the Modern Warfare 2 beta is realistic or not realistic? When I was playing Modern Warfare this weekend, I did play a couple of the modes that were more like one life and you're dead, and maybe they can revive you, maybe not, depending on the mode. And that obviously gets, you know, your adrenaline going. But I don't think most people would look at it and think it's simulation-y. So I'm not sure what you mean. Or maybe you're saying I happen to love those old ones or hardcore games, but Modern Warfare beta still work for me. So I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. So did I. Jalapeno says they put so much into the sound design, this game should be a gun nut's wet dream. What I will tell you that I don't even know if this is true, but I think it is. And this is the reason somebody was saying, what did you get it on? I got it on my PlayStation PS5, is because of the dual sense. When I'm playing last night, I started feeling this weird vibration. And what I think I realized, I'm not entirely sure, is that is footsteps when someone's running up and they're close to you. And suddenly that was a game changer. I was just like, oh shit. I mean, I wasn't 20% better at the game. It mattered a little bit, but just the fact that when I was moving around and stuff and I could feel the controller vibrate when someone was coming up behind me or coming up, you know, around the corner, I'm not going to get that on Xbox. And so I immediately put down the cash and I got the $70 version. I think it was $70 pre-order. Absolutely. Fuck you, Bukaki. Bukaki says, I don't want an easy mode. I want the game to be easier. I don't want it to be easier. Look, it doesn't have to be easy. I barely ever climbed out of last place on my team. But the difference of this game was that in last place, I was still racking up 4 to 8 kills and a bunch of captures in Dominion. It's not that I need it easier. I just need it to be a little less, and I don't use this word disrespectfully because I know a lot of times now the word spastic has become, and I say this as a guy with lots of facial tics and stuff, so I'm not mocking people who have those things and stuff, but the game, that's the best word I've heard to describe it. It just, the last decade of Call of Duty has been a very spastic, kind of herky-jerky, you can call that hard or better. I just didn't like it, so I'm glad that's gone. Is the game, says Jimmy McGilchrist, better than Dusk? Well, I mean, Dusk thrives as a single-player shooter, and I haven't played the campaign yet, the new Call of Duty, so I don't know. But as multiplayer, it's great. It's great. So as I'm playing it and enjoying it, I do a little research, and I'm like, how many maps is this fucking thing shipping with? And right now, they haven't, I don't believe they've announced it. There are some confirmed maps, but there's also maps people have kind of data mined and things like that. So what I have found so far is it looks like people know it will be launching day one with 15 maps at least, which of course got me thinking about Halo. That's what I want to talk about 343 just very, very briefly. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think I finally kind of understand a little bit about maybe what's going on with the maps at Halo, because there was a story today that came out that the guys who work with 343, what are those guys called? Certain Affinity. One of their guys said, we're working on something big and new for the franchise, but I can't say anything more. Everybody's pretty much assuming it's a battle royale for Halo. And I'm just kind of like, God damn, guys, Halo plays like butter. I played it today again for the first time in a while. Had a great time. I love Halo, the new Halo, in terms of multiplayer. But you don't have enough fucking maps, man. That's what everybody's complaining about. Nobody wants a fucking battle royale. Give us fucking maps, right? And then this story drops that the Halo 3, the Halo Infinite guys have remade, and I wasn't a big Halo guy, so people who are in the chat that know this will know, but it's something called the Pit, which I guess was a very famous competitive level from Halo 3. Well, they remade that in Forge, and that will be coming out in the winter update. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, I finally get it. I finally fucking get it. What probably has happened, and I'm just speculating because it's the first time I've always been wondering, the fuck is so hard about making maps? Go fucking make your maps and let's roll. You're killing your game without content. I think what probably happened is they knew Forge was coming. We know Forge is running very, very late. They are comfortable clearly releasing a map made in Forge that will come out when the Forge beta comes out. And maybe what it was is they thought all this time the community would be making maps and we would be having that would never be a problem. And so they threw people on Battle Royale and they threw people on this new mode or, this kind of matchmaking tuning or anything and everything but levels, because they assumed by now we would have a glut of levels. And the problem would be, how do you get the player to actually find the quality levels, right? I think that is what's going on. How many maps in total in Halo right now? I think Eddie Torres is a player of Halo in a hardcore way. Eddie Torres in the chat, how many maps does Halo Infinite currently have? Is it like 8 or something after a year? Well, Jeff B. Gaming says it's bad when you're asking the community to take over the content drops. It is, but I don't think it would be as bad because the community can do a great job at it. We've already seen some stuff done in Forge and it looks amazing. Okay, there's 12 maps right now in Halo after a year. It's anemic, it's ridiculous, it's stupid. And yes, some of them are bigger maps, right? They're not all kind of, 4-4 team matches. So that's just a thought I wanted to share because I was like, maybe that's why we've seen such a lack of maps. But I do think if you look at what's happened with Cyberpunk, the guy who made, what was his role? He was the quest director on Cyberpunk. He tweeted out all the Cyberpunk people have been tweeting out, we're so grateful and thank you for coming back. Ravino says it's the anime regarding Cyberpunk one. Yeah, I understand, but they did two things. The anime is out and it's coming right on the heels of a very big final patch and an announcement of DLC for Cyberpunk. And so I think if you come to Cyberpunk now, it's still not what some people wanted because they expected a level of freedom and openness that the game doesn't even come close to providing. Because I didn't come into Cyberpunk expecting that, I fucking love it. So yeah, the anime is certainly helping, but clearly they're showing up and playing it and staying in. And so these guys are getting a second chance. I would love to see Halo when Forge launches really get this insanely creative shot in the arm that comes from these really, really creative maps. I think that would be fucking awesome. Jeeves says Cyberpunk is pulling a No Man's Sky. But think about that for a minute. Cyberpunk, No Man's Sky, let's just throw Halo on that as well and assume Halo can pull that off when Forge launches. It may just become the way of the world. It may just become the way of the world. It's like, yeah, the game launched as a piece of shit. You know, we saw it a little bit with Rainbow Six, and it's like that's game making in the modern era. Games are so big and they're so connected and there's such demand and they're so expensive that it's like, yeah, because the consumer, look, if the consumer was really mad at Cyberpunk, and I'm not, because I think Cyberpunk's fucking great. I love that game. If the consumer was really mad, they wouldn't be doing this. Rob the Mod, our very own Rob the Mod, said he was never mad at Cyberpunk or Halo or any of that. I think it's dumb to get mad about games. Well, I don't know, man. When you charge somebody ducats and you say, give us 60, 70, even more cash, I don't know. I think you have a right to complain if they drop the ball, but maybe that's just me. A Different Era says people talk about Forge like it's the single saving grace. Well, all I can tell you is the reason I moved away from playing Halo was two reasons. A semi-minor reason was just the battle pass. I didn't feel there was enough interesting content to unlock. So kind of that meta 30,000 foot view carrot and stick didn't really hook me that much. But the bigger part of it was I was tired of playing the same fucking maps over and over and over and over. So it may be that after we get Forge, it'll be a shot in the arm. And every month or so, someone's like, oh my God, somebody fucking made a Star Destroyer map and it's awesome or whatever. But yeah, it may not, they're going to have to continually be chasing after relevancy like any service-based game does.
Quiet down out there, dagnabbit. What's all that racket?
That ain't racket, old timer. That's the sound of a new badass video game forum in town. Come to kick the dusty malaise off the...
What?
Malaise. It means, look, just know that Neo, Gaff, and Reset Era better circle their damn wagons, because Icon Era is the new gaming forum in town, and it's looking to crack some skulls.
I've heard it all before. What makes Icon Era so different, youngin'?
Easy, you saucy septuagenarian. Icon Era welcomes gamers from all eras.
Oh, I understand why they call it that now.
From the very first consoles to today's gaming giants to the bleeding edge PCs. Over at Icon Era, it's about the games, the passion, and having fun.
Oh, I like having fun.
Of course you do. Icon Era is also feature-rich, with things like a visual roulette on the main page showing off the best topics of the moment.
Damn, that sounds nice.
And rumor is, they got trophies coming soon.
Icon Era, you say? Well, I may just head on over there and get...
Not so fast, you ancient asshole. See, at Icon Era, everybody's welcome. But you.
Now, come on there, I didn't mean to fuck you.
Icon Era, the new forum in town. Check it out in the link tree right below this here video.
Let's talk about E3. E3 is coming back. Does anybody give a fuck? Now, E3 announced today. You guys know that the ESA teamed up with some new group. They're pretty known for putting on other shows and stuff. And they said, hey, we're doing this. We're going to bring E3 back to a meaningful show. And they kind of went dark for a while. Well, today they started explaining when it's going to be, what it's going to be, right? Because they're sending out their pitch deck to publishers, developers to say, hey, can we count on your support to be here? Tuesday, June 13th to Friday, June 16th. The first 2 days are going to be only business. And it's going to have more meeting space and it's going to be more quiet. And yeah, there'll be games to demo and whatnot, but it's where business happens, right? You can still go onto the show floor, but the first 2 days, it's just the people in the industry. Thursday and Friday, it opens up to everyone. I'm assuming they're selling tickets. I don't think they've gone on sale yet. And those folks will have access to the show floor, 2 giant halls, right? There will be things happening off-site as well that look to be affiliated with E3. There will be an online component. They say that they're going to have all the latest games to play, new games to play, interacting with publishers, developers, and it says influencers. I don't know if they're doing panels or what that's about yet. So on one hand, most people who actually attended E3 or just watched it online and watched it in the magazines, of course, it's exciting because it was a fun time. It was an exciting time. And this sounds like a good direction. It sounds like something to make a lot of sense. But I don't know, man. If I'm a publisher, I still don't really know what the value of this is for me. I understand, hey, it's in LA, we'll send some people down, we'll send you a couple builds of the game, but we're not going to crunch the team to get an E3 demo. We're not going to worry about a big press conference that you guys demand when it's going to be. We're not going to worry about the hundreds of thousands of dollars it costs to build a cool booth and fly our people down and put our people up. And as much as I think it would be cool, I'm waiting for the story to come out that this will be a fun show and the way PAX is a fun show. But I don't think we're going to get this epicenter of video game news in June, which is what they want. They're even saying, look, even if you're not officially part of E3, let us brand with you so we can bring more eyes on you. So if you're like Devolver and you're not going to be at E3, don't worry about it. We'll still brand it as the Devolver press conference in June. Yeah, Jeff Keighley right now is not currently associated with it, but I'm sure he could be. They seem very open to sort of bringing other people in because they know that the E3 of old, where everything just fit under that umbrella, is no longer how publishers are doing it. But we'll see. I get gamers love it. I get the audience loves it. I'm glad it's coming back. I'm glad they're trying it. I'm glad they've got a new group that's running it. Clearly, they know what they're trying to do. I honestly don't think it's going to work on the business part of it, but I do think there is a valuable fan convention in LA in the summer that's kind of like a bigger, better version of PAX. Yeah, I totally think that's the case. So we'll see. Will I be going? Probably. I think that just because I want to see what it's like. But there is going to be an online component. You know me, I don't like to leave the house. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think I will, at least for a day. Okay, here's some news. Grounded is officially out tomorrow. Now, Grounded has been out for about a year on Xbox Game Pass. It is the kind of little game that I think it's from who are the RPG guys who made this game? Obsidian. Small team in Obsidian made this, I think. And I never really paid any attention to it because I was like, I don't really like these survival games, blah, blah, blah. But now apparently there is a single player campaign, very thorough campaign. It's sitting at an 81 Metacritic on Xbox console, and I think it's sitting at an 84 on the PC side. Another good game on your Game Pass if you're excited. Speaking of subscription services, Shuhei, I love Shuhei. Shuhei is one of my favorite executives, favorite people in the business. I don't think Shuhei likes me very much. I think he'd understand me. He thinks I'm a weirdo. He's probably right. But I think he's great. I think he's the knees bees. But he said this, he gave an interview. The headlines have pretty much read, Sony exec, this is from VGC, but it's everywhere. Sony exec reiterates PlayStation believes in premium releases first, PS Plus later. All I can tell you, as a guy who pays happily for PlayStation Plus Premium, that's the highest, I think, whatever the highest tier is, I still call bullshit on this. I don't care. My response to Shu is, he says, we believe in the premium cycle of titles at launch. He says, I was managing first party at PlayStation, so I know what it's like in the movies. A movie comes out in the theater first, then goes to pay-per-view, or subscription, or free TV, every time generating new revenue and reaching out to a broader audience. There's nothing about what he's saying that's wrong, but it's like hearing somebody talk 10 years ago. The fact of the matter is, as much as Sony says we don't believe in this, they're going to eventually have no choice. They're going to eventually have no choice but to believe in this or to work with this, because this is what the consumers are demanding. And you're saying, how do you know that, Jeff? You don't have any fucking stats on Game Pass as of last January, as last we heard. I'm pretty sure once the Activision deal closes and they start dropping their bangers, it's going to be over. It's going to be over. It is going to be over. Amazon is also, Amazon already has some AAA studios. James Gilchrist says Netflix is doing it, and Amazon is. Well, Netflix is doing it for their cell phone games. They're not. I don't think. I read that story today, their new studio, but I don't think it's a AAA mobile studio. I don't think it's a AAA like Naughty Dog studio. They say right now their challenge is only 1% of people who have Netflix have played the games. I don't think that's a reflection of a lack of interest in games. I think it's a reflection of, if you're on your phone and you say, oh, Netflix games, oh, they have, what's that fucking robot strategy game, like 6x6 or 3x3 tiles. It was whatever. Let's say there's a game you want to play. It sends you to the App Store and you download it on your phone out of the Netflix ecosystem. Until the actual game is built into the Netflix app, I don't think anyone is going to get that. That 1% is probably not going to go anywhere. But the point is, though, these big companies, Apple has it, Netflix has it, Amazon has it, Microsoft has it. Sony doesn't have to have it right now. but they're going to have to get it soon. That's all I'm saying. I didn't see this quote, but I've heard people telling me a lot about it. The CEO of Microsoft came out and said, if you guys want to have competition, let's have competition, was kind of his quote, speaking to Sony. And I think directly maybe responding to Jim Ryan, because I mean, you know, you gotta be honest here. I mean, Jim Ryan knows. Jim's not, he's not sitting around going, well, it's not fair. Suddenly, there they are announcing all kinds of exclusives for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's like, well, I thought you cared about everybody being fair and everybody being able to play Call of Duty. It's horseshit. You want to compete? Maybe Jim Ryan's not the guy to compete. Maybe he's not. I don't fucking know. Zach says Microsoft is delusional. We'll stay on this for a minute. Why is Microsoft delusional?
Hey, Jaffe.
What's up?
I just want to talk to you a little bit about why Microsoft is delusional.
Go.
Did you mention that?
Yes.
Well, first of all, nothing's really going to change unless the management changes. That's just what I see, because, you know, they had problems with Halo and releasing all their games.
Yeah. But why are they delusional?
Well, apparently they can't get a lot done. I mean, all they're focused on is Game Pass.
So they're delusional because they think they're going to have success with the current management, you mean?
That's what they think, but I don't know. They have a big problem getting games out.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah,
I mean, I think to a large extent that's been accurate. I mean, if, you know, I saw some news recently, and I don't know if it was confirmed, that Bonnie Ross, who is the head of 343, is it Bonnie Ross, the one that just got... Well, yeah, so they said that, it was a family emergency or whatever. She was already going to leave in November. And then somebody came out and said, that's not accurate, and that was a smokescreen. I don't know if that's true or not, but...
Yeah, it's definitely a smokescreen. Usually when, you know, employees say that, or even upper people say that, they're using it as a cover because they already know people got rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, when you start bringing family and emergency and stuff, medical emergencies, that gets a little touchy. But regardless, though, let's assume it is. Let's assume that she was pushed out. Maybe Matt Booty and Phil Spencer are finally kind of turning the horse around and realizing what they have to do. I have no idea. They are dropping Grounded tomorrow. I mean, and it's sitting at an 81 to 84 Metacritic, so that's nothing to sneeze at. But I hear you. They're big games that are real commercial games. Like, why is Halo so shitty?
It's their management, man. They got nothing all year. It's a horrible year, and you know, nothing's really going to ever change with that 3-man team they have unless they get new people in there. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't disagree with that, or at least if that team doesn't make some adjustments. But what I will say, I was on Game Pass today because I was playing Halo, I think. And I was playing Proteus on it. And, you know, I still really do sing the praises of Game Pass. I mean, I was... Or any subscription service. And Sony's subscription service has come a long way as well. But I think it's going to be hard for someone, whether they get a PlayStation or an Xbox, to walk into a store this Christmas and not take into account the subscription service aspect, whether it's PS Plus or whether it's Game Pass. Wouldn't you agree that those have become meaningful talking points and meaningful aspects that would help someone decide which system they want now?
I would only say temporarily, because a subscription thing would mean something maybe just for now, because there's not a lot of games out there like available. So I guess with these new subscription models, you know, you're gonna have access to a whole bunch of games until these games start rolling out. I mean, the pandemic had a big impact on development.
Right. Well, I'm looking at my screen right now, and I can, maybe I'm just thinking it back to being a kid, but I mean, I'm looking at their new releases, and it's like Proteus, there's Spider-Hack, Shipbreaker, Deathloop, Metal Hellsinger, Ni no Kuni, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Immortality. I mean, I'm just like, on all of these are included, and again, PS Plus has the same. But I got people in the chat. We got Bob Dobbs saying games as a service is a scam. It's a way for devs and publishers to provide less to the consumer while extracting more money. It's lazy and greedy. I don't agree with that, but that, you know, to each their own, man. All right, Rat, Jaffe, you get the last word, buddy. Go.
Yeah, Jaffe, my only opinion about that is that, you know, as the technology rises, the cost of games rises. You know, if the developers aren't supported, you're just not going to get a lot of great games.
All right, buddy.
Enjoy your show, and I hope you have a good one.
Thanks, sir. You have a good night, bud. Let's move forward, shall we? Well, it's about Disney and Marvel. Disney came out and said two things as it relates to video games. The first one is they said, hey, we're going to be putting out 2 Star Wars games a year. That's our goal. One's going to be a big one, like the new one from Stig and the gang over the sequel to Fallen Order over at Respawn. And the other one's going to be a smaller game every fiscal year, they said. They haven't announced what a smaller game looks like. I don't know if Star Wars Hunters, which is like their online competitive shooter, is classified as that, but I'm excited. I'd love to play Star Wars Hunters. It sounds pretty cool. But that's pretty good. As for what platform, they haven't really said what. I assume they're going to put it on any and everything that they fucking can. They also talked about Marvel today. This was interesting. They said that Bill Roseman, who runs the Marvel Games Group, said the world is amazingly very familiar and accepting of the multiverse. He's talking about the fact that Marvel has said their games are not interconnected. Unlike the MCU or the comic universe, Amy Hennig's new game is not in the same universe necessarily as Wolverine from Insomniac or Iron Man coming from EA, right? He says, we don't want to say to the developers, you can't blow up the moon because the game over here by another studio needs the moon. We want to give everyone the freedom and the clear lane to tell their story. So, whatever. I don't really care either way. I love the Marvel games. I don't care if Midnight Suns, that I'm very excited about, is in the same universe as Miles Morales. Who gives a shit? But I'm still excited. The one thing they did right was this. This was an article on VG 24/7. This was the last paragraph. I'm surprised by this. It says, it should be noted that despite there not being any connections on the whole, Spider-Man and Wolverine do actually seem to be sharing a universe based on the PlayStation blog post from when the games were revealed. And I went back to that blog post, and maybe I just missed it, but I don't know what they're talking about. I know they're connected in that it's the same team, and I'm pretty sure they're going to share code, and they're probably even going to share certain assets if need be. But where are these guys saying that if anybody knows where that was leaked or expressed, please let me know that. I think that would be really, really cool. But I don't see anything that suggests that those things are happening in the same universe. So you let me know, because I would love to know that's true. That's pretty cool. Realism says a universe without She-Hulk is a good thing. Fuck you. She-Hulk's a good show. She-Hulk's a genuinely good show. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's a good show. You know what? It's probably not a good show if you're one of these guys that's not in touch with your feminine side. I'm in touch with my feminine side. I like women. I understand women as both, intimate partners and friends and relatives. I think they're great. And so to see a show that reflects a worldview that's more their worldview, I'm like, that's pretty cool. And it's funny and it's interesting. And this last week was great with Wong and that lady, whatever her name is, the one who, fuck you, Ravnos. I'm just saying, I don't understand the hate about She-Hulk. Bodhi says, I've never seen it, but it's garbage. Understood. I don't even care about that. Bukaki says, it's easy to be in touch with your feminine side when you're a low-T beta male. If somebody came to me and said, Jaffe, I don't know how you test how much your testosterone is. If someone said, you can press this button and it'll tell you your testosterone, and I did it and it was the lowest in the world, I wouldn't care. When is that? Why is that suddenly the litmus test? How about what happened to, do you make a good living? Are you kind? Are you smart? Have you created cool shit? What's your T level? Who gives a shit? Fuck you, Bukaki. Go get me some mayonnaise on aisle 4, you fuck. It's the worst thing Bukaki ever did is told me he's working at a grocery store. Not mocking working at a grocery store. It's a great job. I'm happy for him. But now I'm going to ask him to start getting me shit and clean up on all 9. Fuck you, Bukaki. You asked for it. You made your bed. You lie in it. Fuck you, Bukaki. Bukaki says, I'll get you some mayonnaise. All right. It's in the back and I might be a few minutes. You can go fuck yourself. A2 says, this is the quote from the PlayStation blog. Being able to build a new original universe with Spider-Man and now Wolverine is such an honor. I don't think, build a new original universe. Okay. I guess you could, thank you for that, A2. I guess you could parse it and think it says that, but that's not what I took when I read it, certainly. Downfall Media, that's not the case. I had this debate with, what's that lady's name? I just kind of got to know her today, Melanie Mack. He says, why is it anyone dislikes a show movie with a female lead? They are anti-women. They're not. I never said that. I don't believe that. Jaffe would love She-Hulk automatically without seeing it. I've watched every episode. I actually, unlike a lot of you fucks, I've watched it. We're going to talk about Frosk in just a second. I do want to say, though, thank you to all of our members, our Cult Calypso members, and our God of War members. We will be doing a lunch with Jaffe this week. We will be doing a pot and popcorn this Saturday or Friday. I'm not sure yet. We'll be watching The Sadness, and we'll be watching Frankenhooker. Everyone who's a member is welcome to join those shows. The Cult of Calypso members and the God of War members were the ones at the last lunch with Jaffe that decided on those. This week, we'll just be hanging out, shooting the shit, talking video games, watching videos as we do. The God of War members, just want to say thank you. I want to let you know about some of the great businesses these guys run. You can find links to all of these. I'll put them up on the screen right now. Do me a favor. Open up under this video when you get a moment. Open up the link tree. Just go visit these people. Do I lie to you? Would I have somebody with the shitty product on the show? No. Go on over there, check out their webpage, help them out. More importantly, help me out, because the more you visit over there, they go, hey, it makes sense to keep paying Jaffe the big bucks. Come on now. Come on now. Let's talk about Frosk. Frosk. Let me just say this, because I have seen, I'm not going to play this video, and this video right here, this is kind of the narrative. This video is from World Class Bullshitters over on YouTube. It's titled How One Woman Sank an Entire TV Network in 3 Minutes, okay? The idea that she is the reason G4 is clearly, they lost their president, they've let go of a bunch of people. Who knows if it'll be around in 5 months, 6 months, 2 weeks? Who the fuck knows? The idea that Frosk and her 3-minute rant is responsible for the fall of G4, honestly, no offense, speaks so much more about how weak-minded this generation of gamers are. Sorry. Because it's like, I get that people didn't like Frosk. I get that people didn't like what Frosk said. I didn't agree with everything she said. I think she's full of shit. If she actually thinks one of the reasons that Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn and a lot of the other women they hired, one of the reasons that they were hired was that they were easy on the eyes. And she thinks that's not the case. She knows that's bullshit. She may wish that wasn't the case, but that's the fucking case. Okay, but that doesn't mean I think she was wrong. But even if everything she said was absolutely shit I disagreed with, the idea, and maybe it's because the current generation, a little older, a little younger, have gotten used to something like YouTube, where they can go to exactly the voice they want to hear at any given moment, right? Whereas I kind of came up and I would listen to the radio or watch TV. I liked NBC Thursday night, but it didn't mean I wanted to always watch what came on after Family Ties. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was shit. But I didn't want the whole network to go away. The idea that you can't have somebody on a network that says things that you don't like, I think the biggest mistake G4 has made so far when it comes to the Frost situation is not to push her more, to be that kind of person and bring a counter on. I said this in a video recently, and bring someone on like the Quartering, who I don't agree with 99.9% of what he says. But that would be good TV. And more importantly, it would kind of express this idea that it's like, look, you don't have to agree with all of our hosts to like the show. But somewhere along the lines, these viewers have gotten it in their fucking heads that it's like, if this product, game, movie, comic, book, TV network, YouTube channel says something I don't like, I'm out. Even though it may be surrounded by things that you do like. And I think that's a real fucking problem. I don't think she was scripted. Brian E. says she was way off base, but she was scripted. I don't think she was scripted. I don't think you can script something like that. She may have went to the writers and the teleprompter guys and said, hey, at this point in the show, I want to go on a little bit of a rant I've been working on driving into work today. Okay, let's give her that. But I don't believe that was scripted. Most of that stuff is not scripted. Frost did not cause the death of G4, Brad Glasgow says, but you can look at the numbers in their videos and views were down significantly after her rant. Right, but that's because they did not push it. If Frost was still in the air every day saying shit that drove people crazy, people would watch. If Frost was still in the air and it was a call-in show, people would watch and call in. If Frosk was on the air with the Quartering or Brad Glasgow or who's that lady, Melanie Mack, put Melanie Mack and Frosk in a show together. Let them go at it. I mean, don't be dicks, but let them debate these things. Awesome. People would watch because they love them and they hate them. Why would you? What's hard about this? There was no, Eddie T, I agree with that, but I don't agree with it exactly. He says there was no room for G4 in this age anymore, and I love tech TV. That felt like lightning in a bottle. This reboot had no focus. Sure. My whole video goes, it should never be on network, or not network, should never be on television. It should have been on the goddamn cockadoodie internet from the beginning. It should have been a 24-hour, 7 days a week, MTV-style channel that lived on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, hey, Frost comes on from 3 to 6. Guess what? I don't listen from 3 to 6. I don't watch from 3 to 6. But right after, they show a really bunch of cool new video game trailers. And after that, it's Xavier Woods debating Adam Sessler, whatever. Carlos Hernandez, thank you, buddy. For 14 months, he's been a Diet Soda Soldier. I appreciate that, sir. He says, we get it, Jaffe. You want to go on a date with Frost. It ain't happening. Also, happy 13 months. Thank you, buddy. I really would not go on a date with her. A, I'm too old, and B, she's not my type. And I don't particularly think she's smart. I only like smart women. I think her knowledge of what she was talking about on G4 a number of times proved that she wasn't prepared, which I don't find attractive. And also the fact that she either consciously lied to the audience talking about Olivia Munn and Morgan Webb, or she's not smart enough to realize a key reason why they were hired. All of those things would make me say, no, thank you. Not that she would want to go out with me anyway, but I'm just saying, no, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Frosk was not liked because she said things people didn't like. It was intellectually dishonest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, you don't have to like her. It's not the Frosk channel. She was one of their many, many hosts. Yes, her PlayStation takes were wrong. She should have been more researched before she talked about those things. Frosk was an opportunity that they missed. They missed. It was so obvious. It was right there. It was right there. They could have turned her into a fucking star that you hated or some people loved, but you couldn't take your eyes off her. They could have done that. Terrible swing and a miss. Jeffy Gaming says people love turning heads for car wrecks too. Yes, absolutely. I'm not suggesting that she would offer anything but pure entertainment. But so what? Do you think G4 is like, we're not putting it on the air unless we're going to get some kind of, Pulitzer for this? Come on now. But I imagine it's pretty much dead. And frankly, it's a shame because there are talented people over there across the board. I think, again, I said this on my video, I think Kevin, and I've always gotten his name wrong, and I've reached out to him. I hope he comes on the show. He said he would, but we haven't talked in a while. Kevin Pierre, whatever. That guy is just one good decision away, or one stroke of luck away from blowing up, because he is funny and talented. He's got great energy. The camera loves him. He's excellent. But he just can't quite find the vehicle. And so, yeah, I hope he gets right back on the internet where I think he belongs and takes another whack at it. Oh, shit. Hang on. Not now. Not yet.
Oh.
Snumpkin, thank you, buddy, for joining the Died Soda Soldiers. I appreciate it. This smoke goes out to you. I've packed a lot of sweet tasting nutty fecal paste in there with a whole lot of love. Thank you for support, Snumpkin. Thanks, buddy.
But Grandpa, I don't want you to go.
Yeah, we all go sometime, little Bobby, but I want to give you this so you always will remember me.
Gosh, it's your folder filled with stickers from when you were little.
Oh, yes. And not just any stickers, little Bobby. These were the Garbage Pail Kids, and they were all the rage when I was...
These are dumb.
Eh?
They're for fucking idiots, Grandpa. Get them out of here.
Bobby, no, wait, those are valuable.
You should have gotten me Day One Patch Kids stickers instead.
Day One what kids?
Day One Patch Kids are funnier and cooler than these old dorks, and they're all video game themed. They got Norman Fetus from Death Stranding.
My heart.
And Clod of War, Kratos, and even Nathan Drake starring in Uncharted. And they are so funny looking and cool. I think I see your grandma. And I think I see a future where my other grandpa, who's totally healthy, by the way, gets me stickers and t-shirts and mugs. Ooh, it's like a tunnel of light. Pretty. Hell, man, even shower curtains with all Day One Patch Kids all over them. Less like a tunnel, more like a conveyor belt, really. Anyway, well, thanks for trying, but I'm out. With me, it's Day One Patch Kids, or nothing.
Oh, little Bobby, those do sound nice. Tell me, do you think I can get Day One Patch Kids up in heaven?
Nah, you can only get them by going to the site, which you can find in the link tree under this video. And come on, you ain't going to heaven. I've seen those pictures you got hidden under the sink.
What? No, don't take me. Don't take me. No!
Day One Patch Kids, buy some today, or your grandpa will die.
Okay, I did see the Last of Us live action trailer that dropped today, Laughing Infidel. I thought it looked great. I thought it looked fucking great. I'm not a huge fan of that franchise. I love the second one. I didn't love the first one. But as a show, I was like, that looks pretty good. Especially given it would have been so easy, and it still might, but it would have been so easy for it to fall into the realm of Walking Dead, been there, done that. It actually felt pretty fucking cool. I'm excited for it. Let's talk a little bit about Silent Hill. All I want to tell you is the only reason this is coming up is everybody knows there's this game, Silent Hill, the short message, has been rated in Korea. No one really seems to know what it is. Konami is, the publisher was listed as Uniana, which they published some of Konami's games. They're listed as the publisher. Is it a new game, a teaser, a mobile game? Nobody seems to really fucking know what this title is. Okay. What I will tell you, though, is when this news story broke, though, I saw a number of people once again going, there's a rumor that Bloober team, or Team Bloober, is making a Silent Hill. And I was just like, are people still calling that a rumor? Here's what I can do for you. Not because I would never break that, but it's out there. I know for a firsthand fact that Team Bloober is working on a Silent Hill game. It's absolutely happening. But I'm not saying that like breaking news. I'm saying that like, well, yeah, that's been talked about for a long time. Netflix and Capcom have joined up. They're making an ONIMUSHA, one of my favorite games, inspired God of War, anime adaptation. Think about this for a minute, kids and cadetties. It's directed by the fella who directed, listen to some of these movies he made, Audition, Dead or Alive, and Itchy the Killer. I've only seen 2 of those, but they're violent and bloody and gory as fuck, which means this is probably going to be in a similar vein. More importantly, it suggests, maybe sort of kind of, that ONIMUSHA is not totally dead, whether they wait and if this thing does well, they greenlight a game, or they've already got a game they haven't announced. I don't know. But ONIMUSHA, I loved. Now, that's nostalgia goggles, because when I went back and played the first one about 8 months ago, there were some real shelf moments to that game where I'm like, fuck it, I ain't playing this anymore because it was crazy. But for its time, it was brilliant. Jimmy Gilchrist says ONIMUSHA 2 was terrible. I didn't think so. I played 1, 2, 3, and then I finished all of the first 3, and then I played a little 4, which I didn't like. Was 2 the one? 3 was the one that had Jean Reno, and 2 was the one where they replaced the actor, I think. But all of them I thought were really. Adam says, Jaffe, do you have any plans for any horror game streams for October? Yeah, we always try to do October, right? Of course, I'll be kicking off the season with Pumpkin Jack. That's the best Halloween game ever made. Even better, I think, than the Candy Quest, Costume Quest, whatever. But yeah, we'll also do a Halloween special. Of course. Okay. Hey, Ben Frazier, thank you, buddy. Dropped super chat. He says, hey, I love Twisted Metal Black. On behalf of all of us who made it, thank you, sir. Will there be a sequel? No. I mean, you never know. I mean, they are. Here's what I'll tell you. Are they making a Twisted Metal game right now? My sources don't say maybe. My sources absolutely say yes. In fact, I know they are. I don't know what it is. I don't know who's making it. I don't know if it's a sequel to Black. I can't imagine it will be. We'll have to wait and see. I didn't ask who was making it. No, because the person who was telling me about it, once I can reveal how I know, it'll make sense why I didn't get into a discussion about specifics but I can't tell you that without giving away stuff, and I don't want to do that. What I was going to tell you before I was so rudely interrupted by myself That's what it means to have ADD. Fuck you, motherfucker. I'm not here to, hang on. I'm not here to sell you dope. I just got to tell you a quick story. And I'm not going to smoke anything on that. I'm done smoking for at least a month or a week or a day. I think we'll do pot and popcorn this weekend. The point is, my assistant, Jill, picks up pot for us, and she picked up this, and she's just like, you know, she gets whatever sativa, stadia, I don't fucking know, the hyper version. She gets whatever she can get, and she comes home with this, and it's called Ghost Train Haze. I got it from MedMen, and I looked online. They say it is the most potent strain, Death Stranding. I don't fucking know. It's the most potent version of the sativa marijuana you can acquire. And boy, I'll tell you, I took 2 hits of this fucking thing, and I was gone, man. I'd never felt that loss before on a marijuana trip, and it was a joy. And if you're into the drugs and you live in some place where that shit's legal, I highly recommend it. Gabbin' and Games is the show, and now the show is over. I will be back tomorrow with videos and streams. I will also be working on the new video game that I am going to maybe design and direct, but maybe not. Depends if I enjoy the work after all these years. I'm out. Be well. Mods, thank you. New members, welcome. Super chats. Let me make sure I got them all. I would hate to see that I didn't and left you high and dry. But I think I did get them all, and I sure do appreciate that. All the new subs, welcome. This has been Gabbin' and Games for September 26, 2022. Be safe, be nice, be kind, be well, be flat.